Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Vinny.
And on today's episode, we're taking a look at a brand new line of wrestling figures that took us by surprise.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere and we just saw it on our Twitter feeds and social media feeds, and here it is.
We basically said, shut up and take my money, because right now we're looking at the new Ringside exclusive, Unsanctioned Clsasic Superstars, Road Warriors, Admiral and Hawk.
Yeah,
That's a lot to say.
Yeah, it is a lot to say, but guess what? We're gonna have a lot more to say with these figures.
Yeah, oh my goodness, testify.
Oh my brother.
Because this is really, really good. Like I said, this took us by complete surprise. I don't think anybody expected this to be coming.
No, they just said, okay, Unsanctioned Superstars, and we're like, okay, is this a new line of Mattel figures? Is this a new line? No, this is a Ringside exclusive line that Ringside Collectibles are making themselves.
Which I had no idea they were going to go down there. I mean, we know they're doing their bell-to-bell stuff, so that we've seen, but like doing the 6-inch ultra detailed, that was a shock.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? Let's just get into this.
Yeah, I don't know why we're wasting time. I don't know why we're hot dogging. Let's go ahead. We'll show you guys the box real quick. We don't care. It's a cool box. Let's just open this thing up.
Oh yeah, because real quick, you have both Road Warriors fully displayed with all their swappable hands and heads. A nice little bio on the back.
Very simple, very short.
Great.
Very evil.
Very simple, exactly. So, yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah, I don't care.
Let's get into this. This is...
F the box. We want to see this because we've seen a few things. We've seen a few videos that have been out already about what these toys are like. And, you know, spoilers, we did take a look at them before we actually did this review for a change. Normally, we do these kind of cold completely. But for this, no.
When I got them, I was like, no, I got to take a look at them right away.
And they were, again, we're going to use the word surprising a lot today, but they were kind of surprising. And I think hopefully it will be a good way.
Here we go. We got Hawk.
You know what we can actually do right now is we can jump ahead in the review because they are standing up flat here, but we can actually test what figure stand they use, if any.
Correct.
Because they are standing, which is good. But I believe in the bottom of them, they do have holes. Yes, they do. They have holes for a base of some kind. And we have with us today on my side, I've got Mattel stands from Ringside.
And I have the Jazzwares stands from Ringside.
And based on this type of peg, that is a Jazzwares peg.
Yeah, because that's a lot larger than the Mattels. I could tell that right away.
Yeah, you can go ahead and pop, I guess, Schmo Joe if you want to take his off. But yeah,
Senior Joe.
This is a Jazzwares stand. So that was kind of one of the first things I noticed was I was wondering what kind of sculpting, what kind of tooling they would have for these guys.
You could tell right away that the Jazzwares stands are perfect for these.
And that's because they essentially are like Jazzwares type figures.
Yeah, just out of the box, looking at the articulation and compare them to Jazzwares, you're right, you could easily tell these are based off Jazzware figures.
And that to me is intriguing because for a while I was collecting the AEW figures quite a lot and I trailed off it because I kind of just stopped liking them, to be completely honest. I have a lot of reasons why, that's a different video. So I'm now kind of curious to see what Ringside's gonna do, if they're gonna make it better or worse.
There's only one way to tell.
Throw them at you and see if it sticks to your face?
That's the other way. I didn't want to mention that on camera.
So I think we got to kick things off, though, first with the head sculpts. Let's start talking about that, because that I also want to really look into.
So I'm going to let you deal with Hawk. I'm going to take a look at Animal.
It's actually pretty solid. I was concerned how they were going to do this. I haven't bought any of the bell-to-bells, but those have been more of a cartoony style.
Keep in mind, if we're talking heads, guess what? Both of them did come with an alternate head.
Yes.
So, and a more animated head.
And they're both really good. So I will say, like, as far as realism goes, maybe not like a 10 out of 10, but stylized a little bit, but still pretty darn close to like the real thing. Just with like a little uncanny valley effect, but not in a bad way at all. I like these heads a lot, basically. I like how Hawk looks.
I was gonna say, I feel like with Hawk, they nailed him perfectly because his look pretty much stayed the same throughout his career. Animal, I'm gonna say, I'm looking more and more into it, and I'm like, they messed up the mohawk.
Do you just not like this the way it's sculpted?
No, there's missing details on the mohawk.
What's missing?
Animal did have on the side of his mohawk, quote unquote, sideburns. And his mohawk was actually a longer mohawk with the tail to it.
He would have had the rat's tail?
Correct.
Which he does not have here.
It would have been a thick rat's tail.
Do we know for sure that like in this era he didn't have that or not? Like maybe he cut off at this point in his career?
No, because I did do a little research. The attires that are coming with this set, and keep in mind, there is a chase set out there. This attire was their 91 run. They were still in the WWF. This was from a Japanese event.
Is this the SWS event?
Correct. Where they faced off against the natural disasters.
Should have brought those today. All right.
Yeah.
So they would have still had the rat, or at least Animal would still have the rat's
Animal
tail.
would have had the rat's tail at that time. Animal always had the rat's tail throughout his career.
That's true, I guess.
He didn't cut that off until post-career, or like his very, very late career in the WWE when he was a solo.
I will say, as far as the hair goes, for me, I'm not really a fan of the sculpting in the hair. I do like the way the faces are sculpted. I think the face sculpts are really good, but the way they did the hair, it's a little questionable for these guys.
I feel like it's as if they have a massive ton of gel in their hair.
To me, it's like they got like a perm or something going on. 'Cause it's so like spongy looking, and it's not very hair-like at all.
And that wasn't them.
No, I'll give you guys a better view from behind so you can see that as well, how they both look. I don't like the hair. Yeah, I think head sculpts, really good. Really like those.
And the way they did detail on the faces, yes.
Yeah, that's great, but the hair just not working for me. But it's not terrible, like, because I'm not going to really be paying that much attention to it.
No.
I'm not going to hate it too much, but it's not my favorite. It's a little mid.
True, and again, it could be a rights issue too.
Or it could just be their sculpting abilities.
Could be. But again, this is the first time they're doing their own figures.
Yeah, this is true.
We don't know. We don't know what photos they use to come up with the face sculpts.
But overall, I will say I'm pretty happy with it.
Oh, 100%.
Hair nitpicking aside, I like it. I like this expression. Once you trade expression heads, I want to see your animal.
See, the one for Hawk, that is trademark Hawk expression.
Yeah. This is pretty solid too. Like, these faces kind of remind me of, like, you know, the old ad you'd see in comic books and they were like advertising the video game? These heads remind me of that.
Or the WCW game for the NES.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think that's the ad. Yeah, like, these heads look like that to me.
I played the shit out of that when I was a kid.
Should we do a head swap?
Why not?
Let's do a head swap. And while we're at it, we can also, I think, let's take off the shoulder pads, because to me, that's like the main event.
Yep, which we're going to save that for later.
All right, I'm going to take them off for now anyway, though, and they come off really easy, which is nice. And now we can also take a look at what these guys' bodies are like, because that's also what I was curious about, and that's why I brought so many of my AEW figures today, because I wanted to take a look at the body and see, since these seem to be Jazzwares inspired, whatever that's going to mean here, I wanted to see if they were just,
switch.
Oh yeah, I took the wrong head.
Yeah.
I want to see if these bodies are brand new bodies, if they're sculpting their own, or if they're just kind of copying the molds.
Fair point.
And from what I'm seeing, this looks like their own proprietary body sculpt. This looks like their own tooling.
Yeah.
And I pulled a lot of different body types, because I actually was looking at mine at home to see if like I had someone that looked close to theirs. But from what I could tell, like, these look like unique sculpts for Ringside's lineup.
I would have to say so. You know more about the AEW figures than I do.
Yeah.
Me, I'm mainly a Mattel collector.
Like, these are definitely new bodies. Yep, these are new bodies as far as I can tell. If I'm wrong, somebody there correct me, but these look pretty new to me, and they look good. They also look pretty solid.
They look really good. Now, also, one thing I noticed, look at the knee pads from behind.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's either going to be an innovation or a pain in the butt. Let's find out. But yeah, the knee pads have clasps, so you can take them on and off easier.
Yeah.
Which we've never seen that before in a figure.
No. Because most figures that have knee pads, if you want to take those knee pads off, you have to take the boots off some way somehow and then slide the knee pads off.
Which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
And well, that said too, since these are Jazzware styles, I'm wondering if we could pull these things apart. Because that's what you can do with Jazzwares, is you can pick up any AEW figure and go, I'm going to put someone else's body on this.
Which I'm also curious. I'm wondering if you could put the body now on the AEW figures.
Let's do some experimenting.
Why not?
Because obviously we like these figures so far. Let's start with knee pads. Let's see if we can put them back on, right? So I'm a little scared to do this, but we're going to try. It is really cool also, I will say, because as far as mobility goes, you're still getting good flexibility.
You could still get a full, for most part, a range, and there's still clasps on.
And I would say if you heat it up with a hairdryer, you get much more flexibility out of it.
Possibly, if you want to go that far.
Comes off easy.
You don't necessarily need to.
And these are double jointed knees also, so that is definitely the AEW style figure.
Oh, yeah.
And this plastic too, pretty soft, but firm also, so malleable.
Very.
And I'm just gonna put it right back on just to see how this goes. This is the part that really worries me, but...
No, it's relatively easy.
Yeah, I've almost got it in myself. I think I'm just in the wrong spot. Just a little unlined up. You got yours back on, it looks like. I think, yeah, no, mine's... I didn't plug it all the way in.
No, you just have to line up the holes and slide it in.
That's what she said.
I was waiting for that.
That's what she said.
You knew that was eventually going to happen today. Great.
That's also what she said.
We're trying to be a family-friendly show.
She didn't say that.
I'm going to stop.
Yeah,
I don't know why I continue with this.
So knee pads work out pretty cool.
No, it definitely does. And again, let's say we do have the chase figures, which we did not get.
Those are the gray armor.
Correct. And two different attires. you could probably swap around the knee pads if you want to give it to Hawk or Animal.
So pretty interesting choice, but I like it. I mean, even compared to like I have this Dusty Rhodes here, and like I'll show you guys like his knees, they don't bend much because of those pads.
Those pads are like, super thick.
I've had this is an older figure, so it's actually probably more flexible than others would be. But if it's something this thick, usually they don't move. I can tell you actually with some of the AEW ones, I don't have them here. The series that made me quit AEW, the one that had the first ever Christian, has this giant elbow pad, and you cannot bend that elbow pad.
No, perfect example. You have the Samoa Joe with you.
Oh, those are terrible.
Yeah, you can't even bend a knee.
Yeah, go ahead and bring that between these guys and so everybody can see that.
This is the most I could really bend a knee.
Terrible pads.
It's
accurate to the wrestler, but terrible for a toy.
Like, that's why I think Mattel, when they did Samoa Joe, they molded his knee pads on instead.
Which was a very smart move, yeah.
So
that part's
actually, I'm
cool.
shocked that most figures don't do that either. That they don't mold knee pads on. Maybe, I don't know.
Might start happening, we'll see.
So.
Do we want, well, let's keep talking about articulation so we start off with the knees. And this basically is a Jazzwares style articulation, so I don't feel the need to really go too in detail about it.
No, because I'm even comparing it to the Samoa Joe we have in hand. And
it's identical.
Yeah,
And
even the joints and everything, and you could hear the popping in the movement of the joints, which actually I like because it kind of makes me feel a little bit more secure about the joints.
It's like a gear. It sounds like it's grinding, right? Yeah. You know what's grinding my gears?
What?
Jazzwares articulation.
Yeah.
Not wrong, not wrong.
But I feel like these ones, they may have actually done a little bit better on the articulation. I don't know.
I felt like what I noticed was like their shoulders don't click as much as a Jazzwares figure will. But it depends. I've had some that have been like really clicky.
I guess it depends of figure by figure.
But these look pretty solid. I mean,
the neck on Animal is very clicky.
That's true. Yeah, because normally in the Jazzwares I've had in the past, especially the earlier figures where the shoulders are very clicky. But in this case, shoulders sound fine. It's the necks that are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are picking up. It is definitely clicky. You can feel the click actually in the figure as you're doing it.
Which, I don't know, for a neck, I don't mind that.
If it's securing it, yeah.
Compared to a Mattel, you really can't move the head up and down as much
Especially
on a Mattel.
if it's got like longer hair, like, yeah, you're going to have a hard time doing any kind of mobility with that usually. And oftentimes you see how loose this head is. That's just right out of the box.
Yeah.
And
this one feels more secure, so it has its pros and cons.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say one thing that does bug me, and this is about Jazzwares, and I actually did want to take a look at this now with these guys, is the hands. Because I've always felt like the Jazzwares AEW figures, their hands are just way too tiny, and I feel like that's the same problem with these guys. There's two issues I have, is the size, and number two, that they usually can't hold anything in their hands. Because their hands, even the open hands, are just too wide. And I'm going to prove that, because I actually brought a bunch of chairs today. And we have different hands we can try out.
We do have different hands for both guys.
So I'm assuming that the hands are going to be identical. It looks like they are.
They're identical across the board, yes.
So I see closed fists, and I see an even wider open hand and another open hand. So basically, I think the only difference is just the two closed hands, because otherwise we have a matching of each one of these.
Yep.
We have 3 different types of hands, 6 total for each guy, 12 hands across the board. If that math's correctly. I think that math's right.
You're not using Steiner math, so you should be fine.
Then really, we only need like one open hand to try it out with, because I can tell you this like slapping hand, that's not gonna hold nothing. Obviously, the closed fist will hold nothing, so we'll see what Animal can hold in a second. And I brought 3 chairs with me.
At least swapping the hands isn't as bad.
And while you're doing that, I'll say goodbye to Hawk. Oh, does come out.
Does pop up. Oh.
Choose your wrestler. Do you want to have Brian Cage on? That could work.
That could work.
I mean, he's big enough to kind of fit these legs.
But looking at the bottom of Hawk, I don't think they fit.
I don't want to force it either, but it does not feel like it's going to go down there. So
no.
I think
same thing if I want to switch Hawk onto Brian Cage, won't work.
No, all right.
So
worth a try.
That already tells us these are definitely not just Jazzware molds.
So the Jazzwares inspired.
The Jazzwares inspired. That is definitely the right way to put it.
Which is not a bad thing to be, though, because they're not bad.
Because you're right. If they could improve the articulation, not a bad thing at all.
So Animal has the open hands, and I don't know if any of my guys here have open hands. I think the Moxley might have open hands, so let's...
He does.
So I brought this chair here, which is the official Jazzwares AEW chair, which I hate. It's very flimsy and terrible, and you'll see in a second why. I brought a Mattel chair, which I'm kind of mediocre about. And then I brought the Ringside one that they sell on their website, which is actually just the Jakks-specific chair. And that's the best chair that was ever made for wrestling toys. And I will show you that really Moxley and his hands, you know, the Ringside chairs are like the biggest chairs. They don't sit in his hands at all. And the Jazzwares ones, they're even thinner. You'll notice how thin
Oh yeah.
that, you can basically like, it just falls right through. So I'm pretty sure Hawk's not gonna get any of this stuff in his hands. You wanna try it out for me?
So
Let's try, I mean,
this one is
that's the Mattel chair.
The Mattel.
So you put that on your guy, I'll put the Jax, or rather the Ringside Jax inspired, let's call it.
It's not as bad.
No, I mean, well, the question is, can he move around without it dropping? Yeah, it's actually not bad. You know, I'll say it's not great.
It's not great.
But he is holding this one.
Yes.
I don't know if, I mean, I know for a fact that this Jazzwares chair is crap. It's even just breaking right now. It falls apart all the time. I'm not even gonna try it. It's too thin.
Here's the thing, if I have him, I could have him clasp the Mattel on both.
Interesting. I guess you gotta have to because his hands are so big.
Yeah.
But he's holding.
There you go.
You know, that's not bad. I'll take that. That's actually pretty good. Because the Jazzwares figures cannot hold their weapons for anything.
And here's the thing, if you think about it, how does a wrestler actually hold the chair? With both, with all four legs.
Yeah, if you're doing figure photography, I mean, you're gonna want him to be also reeling back to do the shot.
Yeah.
Generally speaking. So, no, this is
actually passable.
Yeah, I'll accept this. It gets a passing grade for me on that.
Yeah, like you, I'll definitely accept this. Now it depends on what weapons you're using, of course.
That's pretty tight in there. Yeah, it's nice.
So,
have a chair.
Thank you. I need another seat.
So I think now what we should probably do is one other comparison.
Let's compare them exactly to Mattel's.
Now, these are basics. I don't have the Elites anymore. I actually sold them a long time ago and I got good money for them.
Yeah, and actually I think those Elites now, for the pair of them, you're looking at least 210 bucks for them. Because I think Myers and Cardona, Myers may have bought the Elite set. They spent about $210 on the Elites, and it's only going to go up now.
Unfortunately, yes.
Especially because these figures are out. Let's go straight to the head.
And yeah, I'll take the armor off too, in fact, because we can just start without the armor. We'll come back to that.
Because we're saving the armor for the end.
I think we might as well. I was going to start with it, but you know what? Everybody's still here. They're waiting, so yeah.
Let's save it to the end. So.
And these don't have swappable heads. I don't think the Elites had swappable heads either.
No.
I don't think they were really doing it that much at that point.
No, they didn't do it at all. This was still like the original Mattel line.
That's true, yeah. This is early on.
So, and WWE hasn't had the license for the Legion of Doom in a very long time.
There's definitely some differences here. I will say that. I kind of need to take a better look. I will say off the bat, you were talking about the rat's tail earlier.
Yep.
It's on the Mattel one.
It's on the Mattel one. And looking at it, now Hawk definitely, you could also tell the difference in the hair for Hawk as well.
Yeah.
Because his double mohawk is a little bit whiter, which is what he had in real life. So I'm curious what reference photos they used for the head.
Yeah, it's very interesting here as this is all working out. And even just the face sculpts too. They're both, I'd say, pretty good. No complaints for me about the face sculpts, really.
They're pretty good. I would have to say maybe Mattel has a little bit of leverage.
I would give Mattel the edge. I would definitely give Mattel the slight edge.
So,
if we were going to grade on a scale of like 1 to 10, I would say that, like, just for argument's sake, I'll say that Mattel was the 10. I would give like a 7 to these Ringsides.
I would agree with that. I would agree. Now, also keep in mind, these are the older Mattels. I feel like had Mattels done Road Warriors now, it'd be a different story.
It'd be so much better now, for sure. Absolutely. They're still pretty good. I mean, the bodies, I think I also kind of prefer the Mattels as far as the look. But again, these are basics, so it's a little bit hard to tell.
Fair, because basics were, and again, these are the older basics.
Yes.
Basics have gotten a lot better too.
Yeah, so I don't really want to compare that part. Really, my main focus is more so just going to be the heads. And I think we kind of covered that. So, you know, if you don't have the Mattels, I think this is a very, very good exchange.
A very good set, and also a very affordable set.
That too.
So, yes, they're on back order now, but because of how quickly these sold out, they're coming with second and third waves.
Yeah, and I do kind of want to touch on that too, because you know, I feel like the way that Ringside put these out was really not great, because there wasn't much of a warning. It was the most subtle of warnings. We didn't know who we were getting, and it was just like a random drop because they didn't really tell us when. And like, I want to call them out on that a little bit, because that was probably not the best strategy, because a lot of folks were left wanting to get it. They didn't know what was happening, and like I didn't know either, because I wasn't home when they dropped. You got them for us.
I got them, yeah, and I was like, I got to make sure I get 2.
Absolutely, you were smart to get 2.
Yeah.
Because the way they did it was not ideal. And I want them to kind of like take a page into the 4 Horsemen, for example, who do the Mythic Legions figures, and they do time drops all the time, because that's how their stuff works.
Yeah.
They give advance warning. They let you know when it's coming. They preview it for like a whole week to build the hype around it, instead of just doing this. And mind you, they don't really do surprise drops, but they do short last-minute drops. Like they have a line called Figura Obscura, and that's basically 24 hours notice. But when they do that, they drop it twice in the day. So if it's dropping on a Sunday, they'll drop it at, let's say, 9 in the morning, so folks can get it in the morning. If you can't get it in the morning, there's a second drop 12 hours later.
Because they already know there's when the first drop's going to sell out, they'll give you a second, which I
That's
appreciate.
exactly it, the second chance.
I appreciate that.
Because this was just gone. Yeah, but that's my tangent on the review, is just that, is how they drop them. And you guys let me know how you want us to talk about this too. But I think that they could probably improve that one part. That'll make a big difference in how these sell and are promoted and discussed.
Yes, but I think now that they've already seen these immediate success from the Road Warriors, they know now, okay, we could drop these and we could give more advance notice with who it's going to be.
I hope so, yeah.
So,
and just letting us know, period, what's going to happen. Give us a time or something. I mean, it's going to be craziness no matter what, but at least we'll have a fair shot.
Yeah. Back to a little bit of comparisons. I will admit, attire-wise, and we didn't get to touch too much on the attire. Let's go back to the attire. They definitely did get the attire on the Road Warriors right.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it. I like it.
And even one thing on Animal, which I will give them, look at the tattoos.
Yeah, he actually has the tattoos.
The tattoo, and they were very detailed, which actually I didn't pay attention. Is one of them the Tasmanian Devil?
That's a Taz. That's a bootleg Taz. It's not quite all the way Taz, but that's pretty much Taz.
Yeah.
So
okay.
They kind of got away with the Taz.
I will give them that.
As close as they can get to a Taz without being sued, I'd call that.
Yep.
That's Chaz right there.
So I like that. So hopefully Delo's not around.
Oh, yikes.
So, but
well, you're looking at the real deal now.
But the attires they did definitely get right. I actually looked at that match to see the attires, and the knee pads were correct on both of them.
Ah.
Animal did have red. Hawk had black. I believe the bootstraps might be a little bit off, but that's not a big deal.
I'll take it as a style choice.
And they did have Road Warriors written on their waistbands.
It's a good look.
It's definitely a great... The attire they chose for this is the classic Legion of Doom Road Warriors look.
Yeah, like this is what I wanted. It's iconic. Even if it's not like the most accurate, I think it's iconic enough that it just fits them.
Exactly. This is the look everybody knows about the Road Warriors or the Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call them. But
is it time?
It's time. We got to talk about the shoulder pads.
All right, let's get these guys out of the ring for a second. So we have the shoulder pads from the Mattels, as well as now the Ringside Unsanctioned line. And we're not going to talk about color because obviously these are the blue ones anyway. These aren't the whatevers. The Elite ones would have been the same, just painted better.
Yeah.
I think these from Ringside are actually a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger, but it's also, I don't know if you could tell or pick it up. These are like dual molded.
Yeah, well, I think these are also like, multiple pieces because they had to kind of put it together. So I think there are multiple pieces on these that are kind of glued together. So that part is nice. I mean, detail looks good in all of them. I mean, I'm not going to count the spikes and be like, this isn't correct.
Oh, no. But I'll actually admit, I think the spikes are a little bit more detailed on the Ringside Collectibles one.
They are definitely more detailed on the Ringside ones.
Even the shoulder pads themselves, again, more detail to them.
They're also pointier on the Ringside ones.
Oh, yeah.
They're pointier. There's much more detail. Well, again, we're not going to compare the paint,
thing.
But
they know it's going to adults.
That is true. Yeah.
With these ones, they're going to kids.
Yeah.
I don't think they want kids to injure themselves.
Most likely they don't. They don't want to lose their customers. Yeah.
No, and we could go into a whole litany of how figures had to be changed thanks to kids.
So I will also add, by the way, that the Ringside ones are softer because I'm able to squeeze this guy. The Mattel
No, the Mattels are
very firm.
Firm.
A lot firmer. But not a bad thing either way. I like them both because, of course, they just look great no matter what. But I think the Ringside ones are actually better.
Yeah, definitely better for detail. You could tell where the attention really went to on these figures. And as minute as it is, still.
Oh, yeah, I had to do that, by the way. I had to check how they look. That looks good.
Yeah.
They both fit?
They both fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Mattel one's a little bit more awkward, actually. But I guess because the Ringside ones are bigger, it fits better just about anybody.
Yeah. And again, if you want, you could always take off the heads first, but...
Yeah, that always is a helpful way to do it.
Yeah. But, yeah, the Mattel feels a little tight on...
It looks tight, yeah.
But...
That slides on real easy. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is one of the things we have to do.
We gotta belt them up.
That sounded weird, but that is accurate, yes.
Yeah.
Let's belt them up, boys. Let's
Because
get
I
to
happen
belting.
to have, from Forbidden Figurines, the dual-plated WWF Tag Team titles.
I don't know if I've actually seen these in person, but wow, that looks so good.
Oh, that's right. I never showed you them in
I never
person.
saw these, so shout out to Forbidden Figurines, our favorite belt maker.
Yes, definitely check out her page. She makes amazing belts, and whenever she does a drop, get on them. So
Wow, that is
yeah,
good looking.
that is. It fits them.
That is so good.
That is iconic. Legion of Doom with those belts.
These are kind of perfect. And unfortunately, you know, with Ringside, they're probably not going to be able to get licensed belts unless they're going to like a third party or a smaller company. We're not going to get these kinds, but at least there's places out there where you can. And plus, you could always easily get the Mattel ones because I have an excess of the classic belts that they would have had.
The classic belts come with almost everybody. And you know what? Let's see how the classic Mattel belts fit on them.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, I imagine they're going to be just as good. It's just a matter of will the clasps on these particular belts actually do their job? Because that's the one thing you can never actually tell. That's why we're grateful that Forbidden Figurines just does Velcro.
Yep.
Understandable.
I'm wondering when
mine works.
Yeah. No, mine fit on pretty easily.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
I think these are the perfect way to get the Road Warriors right now.
Right now, 100%.
Because I was telling you, even not that long ago, I was like, I felt like this year we were going to get new Road Warriors figures. And I thought it was going to be Mattel.
Because we're thinking now they may pick up the licenses again.
That's what I was thinking. And surprise, like when you told me these dropped, I thought it was Mattel. You didn't tell me they weren't.
No,
I didn't realize it until they came here.
When I first saw that it was going to be on Ringside, I too thought, okay, this is a new Mattel line. And I was like, okay, Target already has the Legends lines. We already have the Coliseum collection. Now they're doing this. What are they doing? This is called Ringside's doing this on their own.
And they look really good.
Yeah.
Bell to Bell, I'm still a little iffy on because it's not my style.
Yeah, because those are based off like the Remco style of figures, which me and you both did not
We appreciate them, but it's not for us. But this is our style.
It's similar to like the current WWE superstars.
Exactly, same kind of thing.
So,
they look good, but not for us.
Yeah, not for us. But these ones, 100%. And now we're starting to see other toy makers do more of this line.
More 6-inch stuff. So sky's the limit. That's the truth. Because anybody can be made to a figure now. And if they're as good as this, then wow.
Yeah, like definitely whoever it is the next drop is, I'm probably going to get it no matter what.
Yeah.
Unless it's somebody that I'm not a big fan of, odds are I'm probably still going to get them.
Well, you can let us know in the comments who you want to see Ringside tackle next in their Unsanctioned Clsasic Superstars line, because that list is pretty darn long. So narrow down to your top 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a very long list because now this opens up the door to anybody who is not under a WWE or AEW contract, or for that matter, TNA now.
And I think that's also a pretty good sign of confidence from us about these figures and the series as a whole, because if we want to see more from it already, that's a positive.
Definitely.
And we definitely want more from this line.
We definitely want more. As a kickoff to this line, they nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys want to get these, head over to Ringside Collectibles, and maybe they'll still have them, maybe they won't, depends when you check, but worth the fight to find them.
Definitely worth the fight. So, and you know what? They also have the Chase. The Chase is also pretty good, because that came from an obscure era of the Road Warriors when they were completely in Japan.
Yeah, it's probably the only way you're going to ever get that color of armor.
Yeah, or who knows? We may get a Power Warrior down the line.
Yeah, we will see. Sky's the limit. So,
yes.
So that is our review of the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned Clsasic Superstars Road Warriors / Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call them.
Whatever you want to call them. It's Hawk. It's Animal. Oh, what a rush.
Yeah, and what a rush it is to have these toys. So thanks again for checking out our video. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, do all the internet things that you're supposed to do. And yeah, we're loving these. Can't wait for more.
Yeah, please bring it on, Ringside. Bring it on.
So until next time, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Vinny.
This has been Nerd News Today. We'll see you guys later.